This to heaven to live with thee there.
Beautiful. You may be seated. I so enjoy this time of year. I love the Christmas music. I love the Christmas movies. I love the energy and the festivity. And I love how I feel. Because more and more I find the love within. So the talk title is Finding Love Within. Now, for this Advent journey, we've been looking directly at this whole passage about the birth of Jesus in Luke chapter 2. Today, we're looking at verse 15 to 16. It says here, when the angels had left them and gone into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, let us go now to Bethlehem and see this thing that's taken place, which the Lord has made known to us. So if we look at this literally, these shepherds just minding their own business at night, tending their flock, and the angels descend and say, we've got some good news. It's like, Well, they've gone, they're catching their breath, but they say, let's go check this out. Because human beings are curious. Aren't we curious? When we've heard about something, but we haven't seen it yet, and it doesn't sound like it could even be possible. And the mouthpiece of what told us is like, I don't know about that. But they want to know. So they want to go to Bethlehem. They want to see this baby that's wrapped in clothes, that was given birth in a manger surrounded by animals. Wow. Wouldn't you, say, Cousin Jerry, here, you watch the flock and I'll go see, and then I'll come back and then you can go see. Because I got to still tend the flock. Now, when I looked at this passage metaphysically, Bible interpretation metaphysically there's a process you go through. And when I did that, I came up with this interpretation. When I need more understanding or feel the need for protection, all I need to do is turn to the Christ consciousness within me. That's pretty practical. That's pretty practical. Because I don't know about you, but sometimes getting into this holiday season activates the perfectionist busy person in my head and start running the cycles of gotta do, you know? And all I need do is to turn within. And the Christ consciousness knows the right thing to do. We have within us all the wisdom that creates the universe, that creates bluebonnets and Lamborghinis. It's all part of God. And we can stop and identify that presence within us. So we're also following the wisdom of this wonderful Unity pamphlet, A Christmas to Remember, which is available to you on the table in the foyer there. But this Elizabeth Longo, I don't know about my throat here, dear friend of mine, and she wrote this passage in this pamphlet. God's love is at the very core of my being, the reason for all existence. At any moment and at any time, love can heal and renew our spirits. When we feel lonely or unloved, we can immerse ourselves in this healing energy, which is unconditional and ever present. Wow. It's true, and yet how easy it is for us when it happens to remember. Thank you ever so much. How easy is it for us to remember when we get all caught up, we get frizzled and frazzled, to just that the whole reason we're doing this, the whole reason we share time with family and friends, is to share our love. Finding the love within us is the path for renewal. It's a path for feeling safe and connected. And those are values that we want in our lives. And this community is rich in service. We have so many people in service to our ministry. It sustains us, and it brings life and joy, even if our pattern is just to show up on Sunday. It's present in the energy that we feel by just being together, yes? I turn to the Bible because the Bible is full of stories and parables and ideas and thoughts about love. And this is one of my favorites. 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 14. Let all that you do be done in love. I'd like a bumper sticker. So anyone who comes up behind me can read, let all that you do be done in love. We can actually grab onto that and choose to actively use it in our lives. Let all that I do be done in love. Wouldn't that change your life? Wouldn't that open a pathway and then look out? Because when we adopt this as a way of living, it changes everything. Because what's fear? What's lack? What's doubt if all that you do is done in love? They fall away. So we have a life that doesn't have fear or lack or doubt. Does anyone else want that kind of life? Yeah, I would say so. Finding the love within us is a journey that really is just moving from here to here because it's already here. Up here we can dance with the ideas of not enough and but, and whatever goes on. But there's more intelligence right here in our heart center than there is in our brain. So why not give the keys to the car to our heart and then see what love leads us to? I love Reverend Sue Sicking. I never met her, but Unity minister, a great author. She says, we cannot love God without loving each other. And humanity is of God, and God is in humanity. This may seem simple, but this is enormous. Because if the only way we can love God is by loving humanity, how ready are you to love all of humanity? Because humanity, all of humanity is in God. We talk in Unity a lot about being one. Talk's cheap. Talk's easy. It's a great concept. But we aren't one until we live it. And that doesn't mean we just love the people that we already love. Those are easy. It's really easy to love the people we love. But what about loving the people who really irritate you? The neighbor that refuses to do your simple request. The boss that's just a little too hyper and a little too irritating. Or turn on the news and pick someone. Love doesn't mean we need to condone or accept their behavior. Love means we accept them as a divine child of God, fully endowed to make any decision he or she wants to. And within that light, we give ourselves permission to be and do and live our life the way we choose. I have a dear friend in this congregation. Her name's Deb Thomas. And she shared with me before going into this Christmas season that she was going to do it a little differently. Because she realized that more often than not, she went into the season of just, I can't wait until it's over. She's the first one to laugh. But what she did is she sat down and she did her Christmas cards. And because she had the time to do it and did it really early, she filled the cards with love. Got to say just what she wanted to say. And then she gave herself credit for doing that task, getting it done. Wow, that was fun. I got it done. And then she went and did all her shopping. Kids and the grandkids and everyone needs what they need. And she got it done. And then lo and behold, a week ago, I was on vacation last week, so she told me she got all of her gifts wrapped. The cards, the shopping, the wrapping, all done by the middle of December, and she realized she'd done it all with love. Let all you do be done with love. And then what happens? Life feels joyful. Then you can't wait to bring the family together and share that love and that enthusiasm. And maybe even share the wisdom with your kids. You know, there's another way to do this. We don't have to get all caught up. And all the while, we're choosing to see how we can do this together by being good to ourselves in the process. Oh, I love this guy. Reverend Scott Aubrey is a Unity minister in Colorado, and his ministry is spiritualpassages.org. And if you go to that, you can sign up for his email, and he sends out an email every day with some current thought of the day, and then he offers affirmative prayer. It's really quite beautiful. And so he wrote this while I was preparing for this talk. I moved through this day as a beneficial presence, not trying to let God into my heart. Rather, I open my heart and let God out. Wow. In truth, it is not possible. It's impossible to have more God in you. God's everywhere present. God is, period. But our awareness of God, when we turn to find that connection and then let God pour out of us, so are we extending love out to others, or are we allowing God to be God expending love to others? I think we're just part of the process. Which harkens back to that beautiful prayer from St. Teresa of Avila, that identifying with God, I'm in that flow, breasting every rough wave. Wrapping up this talk, I close with this wisdom of this incredible unity minister. His foundational books are amazing. He says, we may be successful without love. We can think of examples. We might even be healthy without love for a time, but we cannot be whole without love. And thus, we cannot be happy or peaceful or fulfilled. I think we're ready. If that bumper sticker, let all that I do be done in love. If this Advent journey that we're awakening to, letting the light of inspiration guide us to do things differently, like Deb did, then we can adopt a practice not for perfection, but for living the kind of life we say we want, we feel we want, the one that we pray for, the one that the daily word is always turning us back to. A life that matches the one we want and desire. And then we can find ways to love like we've never loved before. Loving everyone as they are, just the way they are. They don't have to change a thing. They're loved just as they are. Are you ready to let love flow from your heart and be an ambassador of love, which opens us to the oneness we already know that we are? It's a good journey. Thank you.
Step out on the water, release your faith. Every step is stronger. Step out on the water.